Okay, so we'll have Dan start here in a minute, but before we start that, I wanted to do a limerick. So I was out at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair and ran into Lord Martial Law, and he did limericks. And so I'll do one of those for you. There once was a fellow named Jack who went to the well near his shack, where he flirted with Jill, which gave her a thrill, so she gave him a roll in the sack. So, well, welcome to the 4th year of this event, and it's been amazing. I had a lot of help putting everything together, so I just want to remind everyone of that. Tom has always been a great help. This year, Jacob and Mel and Rob and Ryan all showed up and helped put everything together, which is why I could actually do extra decorations and extra things because we had other help. So, all right, with that, I'll just let Dan do his thing.
Hey. Hey, Trey.
Hi, Dan.
Oh, you gotta put the toppings on.
Thanks, everybody. I'm Dan the Bard, and I'm here with TJ and Amanda from Ogham.
Did you see this guy?
I know, I saw him. I see him there.
So great.
I'm here somewhere.
All right.
We're gonna start with a TJ tune.
Yeah.
One dress.
Why not?
What do you want to play?
Something.
Okay.
The bread on the floor down there for now.
All right. So let's do the Kool-Aid's cup of tea.
Yeah, it's just.
Starts with E minor, D minor, D. Last one.
Okay.
the forest safe and well, nasty monsters he did quell. When Fred was young, he learned the trade of forest animal. First aid, he loved the woods, he loved his work. Most of all, he hated orcs. He hated orcs with passion fierce, to set them there, their hearts to pierce, throats to choke and legs to break. He liked to drown them in the lake. Rangers loved the woods so green and keep their swords and axes keen. Monsters whom they hate the most, hatred for them they will boast. La 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 la. When Fred was older, he did find that he could choose more than one kind of monster in the forest glen. So he chose the giant's kin. He found this fun and challenging to slice a giant's hammy strings, dancing on their chest with grace, pointing arrows in their face. He loved to trick an ogre so to chase him down a grassy road, fall into the traps he made, pits with spikes and poison blades. Loved to set the troll afire and use the corpse's burning fire, marshmallows and meat to roast. These are the monsters he hated most. La 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 la. Fred's retired from his work, still hating giant kin and orcs. He lately thought of one more foe for which to seek some toe-to-toe. Why he chose undead to hate, we'll never know. He tempted fate, he lured a lich into the woods and drew his swords and valiantly stood. The lich amused, released a smile and some magic dark and vile, blasted Fred with a meteor swarm. Alas and alack, Fred is no more. If you be a ranger skilled, please listen well. Fred was killed. If your choice of foe is a lich, life will soon be a son of a la 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 la. La 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 la. This is a song about Pete the Polymorpher, lived with his wife and his 5 little daughters. Down, down, dairy, it's the unicorn fairy, giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Each of the girls was born a year apart on the very same day, September 24th. Down, down, dairy, it's the unicorn fairy, giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. On the day the girls turned 6 through 10, this was the birthday Pete had forgotten. Down, down, dairy, it's the unicorn and fairy, and the giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. So sorry girls, said Pete, apologize and tell me what you want, I'll get you anything. Down, down, dairy, it's the unicorn and fairy, giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. I want a unicorn, the oldest said. Pete the Polymorpher wished he was dead. Down, down, dairy, it's the unicorn and fairy, giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Pete's wife said, well now you've gone and done it. If you don't find a unicorn, she'll throw the biggest fit. Down, down, dairy, it's the unicorn and fairy, and the giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Pete looked around and was suddenly inspired, saw the family dog sleeping by the fire. Down, down, dairy, it's the unicorn and fairy, giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Oh, Polymorph the hippogriff into Polymorph the dog into a unicorn, white as snow with a shiny golden horn. Down, down, dairy, it's the unicorn and fairy, giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Pete, the next daughter said, I want a fairy princess. Don't worry, sweetheart, I'll do my best. Down, down, dairy, it's the unicorn and fairy, and the giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Polymorph the unicorn into a fairy, little wings slapped and she ate all their berries. Down, down, dairy, it's the unicorn and fairy, giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Next daughter said, it's my turn now. I want a giant and I don't care how. Down, down, dairy, it's the unicorn and fairy, and the giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. So he polymorphed the fairy into a giant, broke through the roof and he had no pants. Down, down, dairy, it's the unicorn and the fairy and the dragon and song. Well, the dog doesn't have pants, it doesn't make pants, it's just a magic spell. It changes.
So did the fairy not have pants?
No, the fairy did not have pants either, but she had whisks. and a proboscis. You know, fairies are insectoid. Everyone wants to be a little fairy princess, but those are bugs. They came from a pupa.
Sounds inappropriate.
That does sound inappropriate. Next daughter said, I really want a dragon to pull me around in my flammable wagon. Down, down, dairy, it's a unicorn and fairy, and the giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Hollingworth the giant into a dragon, belched and he burped and he burned on her wagon. Down, down, dairy, it's a unicorn and fairy, giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Pete asked the youngest what could be her gift. She said, I really, 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 really want a hippogriff. Down, down, there is the unicorn and fairy, and the giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. I'm worth the dragon into a hippogriff. Now each daughter got a gift. Down, down, there is the unicorn and fairy, and the giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Pete's wife said, this is getting out of hand. Bring back the dog or the song will never end. Down, down, dairy, it's the unicorn and fairy, giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. I'm worth the hippogriff to the dog once more. Oops, oh no, cried Pete the polymorpher. Down, down, dairy, it's a unicorn and fairy, giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Pete quite was aghast and agog. What have you done to the family dog? Down, down, dairy, it's a unicorn and fairy, giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. The dog had wings and scales and a horn. It was a giant fair Okay, so here's the deal, guys. I just finished producing my 5th grade musical called Unicorns and Dragons, which I wrote, and all my songs got pushed together into a same musical, so there's all these characters. There's Pegasus, Unicorn, the Fairy Princess, Giant the Giant, Manticore, and Pete the Polymorpher's in it, and they all go on adventures, but to make it work, I had to change Hippogriff to Pegasus. So I cannot literally say the word Pega-Pegacorn right now, so we're just going to move on. It was a giant fair Griffa-Pega-Corn, down, down, dairy, it's a unicorn and fairy, and the giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Lark didn't mind, and the girls were delighted. The birthday was saved, and all the song was right. Down, down, dairy, it's a unicorn and fairy, and the giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. If you've a daughter, a birthday don't forget, she'll want a fair drag, a grifficorn pet. I got it! Down, down, dairy, it's a unicorn and fairy, and the giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Down, down, dairy, it's a unicorn and fairy, and the giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. Down, down, dairy, it's a unicorn and fairy, giant and the dragon and the hippogriff song. We just produced. I teach at a school in Palatine, Illinois, and we produced it last Wednesday, and it was pretty darn hilarious and cute and fun. It's about friendship, and there's only a little bit of death.
You're in 5th grade?
She's in 5th grade.
Where do you go to school? Gifford. You went to Gifford? I went to Goodland. I'm from the other side of Racine.
The other side of Racine. Oh, that's right. You're a Racinian.
I am Racine. Mega, mega Raytown.
I'll do one more song and then you can do it too. Let's do This is called Frito the Friendly Giant. This was commissioned about 5 years ago by a 5th grader for her dad. Her dad was playing a giant named Frito, and he died a horrible death when he was killed mercilessly by a troll frog. So in honor of her dad's character, the dad's fine. In honor of the dad's character, Frito, I was commissioned to write this. There was a half-giant named Frito. His story is e'er bittersweet. He once was a fighter of some renown, but now he is simply deceased. Oh, Frito was one time our very best friend. We raise now our voices in song, and drink find help to our half-giant friend, for Frito is now dead and gone. Sing a tra-la-fra-gala for Frito is now dead and gone. Frito was once a wee little lad, near more than 200 pounds. He went to sit by the black water side, but like, there's this frog, on the ground. Well, he stepped on that frog and it squashed and it died. He killed the thing accidentally. So to give that poor frog immortality, he took up taxidermy. Well, he stuffed that old frog, it was almost like new, around his neck hung on a string. He carried it with him to remind not to sit on little things. And Frito then grew up to near 8 feet tall, jolly and thick with the gods. Male pattern hairline receding then, as bald as a stone giant's butt. Sing a tralla fragalla for Frito, as bald as a stone giant's butt. By the black water side, a swamp as cold as a bog, when out from its murky depths it attacked a hideous giant troll frog. Well, the troll frog saw Frito with the frog round his neck, and mercilessly tongue-struck our friend. Frito was killed out of spite, I'm afraid he met with a tongue-on-cheek end. Sing a tralla-fragalla for Frito, he was killed with a tongue-on-cheek end. Now let us drink to his memory, Frito, our half-giant friend, who as a result of taxidermy met a most untimely end. Oh, Frito, dear Frito, he was avenged. We slew that old troll frog that day. We stuffed it and hung it right there round his neck, as now in his grave Frito lay. Sing a tralla-fragalla for Frito, as now in his grave Frito lay.
What do you want to do?
Bugles is too easy.
You start, I'll catch it.
Alright, this song was also in a play we recently did with no alterations. It's called Phil the Phoenix, and Phil went to the library to read books. He forgets that he blows up into a ball of fire every day. The most important thing about this is I was able to educate 5th graders on what a card catalog was. So, the Phoenix was bored. He wanted much more than to spend all his time just waiting to die, to rise up again, again and again, again and again and again and again. Phil the Phoenix was smart, a mind like a dart. He wanted to learn much more than to just burn. He wanted to show off his knowledge skills. So to the library went the Phoenix named Phil. And he soared through doors and landed upon the brown desk and made quite a mess. The library clerk, she smirked as she worked. She said, "You'll be needing a library card." He said, "I am Phil, 2 L's, 1 Y. I'd like to read books or I once again die." She said, "Go on in, we close right at 10. Try not to molt on the card catalog." Oh, Phil-la-la-la, Phil-la-la-loo, a Phoenix so smart, what else could he do? Phil-la-la-la, Phil-la-la-lee, Phil went to the library. Phil-la-la-la, Phil-la-la-loo, why didn't Phil think this thing through? Oh, Phil-la-la-la, Phil-la-la-lee, to be an ornithological tragedy. Dwarves and gnomes, all about kings and magical things. He learned about planes and magic's domain. Phil was as happy as he'd ever been. One scroll he unrolled of a story so old about an old phoenix. It's hard to rhyme Phoenix. Phil realized this tale was about Uncle Dale, who disappeared about a century ago. And poor old Phil was oh so thrilled. He was enraptured as he read the last chapter, forgot his condition of random ignition. Before the last page he blazed up in fire. The book then was burned. Phil never did learn his Uncle Dale's story of Phoenix's glory. The library clerk lost her smirk. This won't work. You'll have to learn from a scholar or bard. Oh, Phil-la-la, Phil-la-la-lore. If you're a phoenix, it's hard to find lore. Phil-la-la, Phil-la-la-lammable. Hard to read books if you are flammable. Phil-la-la, Phil-la-la, have you heard a story so sad? Phil-la-la, Phil-la-lee, as a combustible parrot in a library. Alright, my friends. That was very funny, but now it's time to be serious. This is a spiritual song. This is a song about reincarnation. Woo! Have you hugged an owl bear today? Has an owl bear hugged you? Have you felt its beak and its fur-feathered arms rip your body in two? As I went walking one morning in August through dark and perilous woods, to a sun-dappled grove I casually did rove, and there an owl bear stood. Its fine fur and feathers were chestnut and tan. Its beak was as yellow as hay. It stood 10 foot 2 and then said, "Hoo! Hoo!" 'Cause that's all that owl bears say. Join me. Have you hugged an owl bear today? Has an owl bear hugged you? Have you felt its beak and its fur-feathered arms rip your body in two? The owl bear saw me and charged like
What?
an owl bear. I offered it rations of cheddar. It hugged me instead and bit off my head. But as you can see, I got better.
Are you dead?
Yes, yes, yes. In the story, I'm Deadpool. That's how this works.
He's so great.
He ripped off my arms with a sickening, tore off my legs at the femur. A druid came by and said, "My oh my, I'll have to deal with this later." Have you hugged an owl bear today? Has an owl bear hugged you? Have you felt its beak and its fur-feathered arms rip your body in two? But this isn't a story about owl bears.
Really?
No,
Are you sure?
I'm positive because I told you at the beginning it's about reincarnation. When I woke, the druid said, "Son, the owl bear gave ye a killin'. But here's the thing, now you're a halfling. We'll try again in the morning." And the owl bear gave me a hug every day. Reincarnated was I. But recycling your soul can soon take its toll. My mind sometimes wanders. Have you hugged an owl bear today? Has an owl bear hugged you? Have you felt its beak and its fur-feathered arms ripped your body in two? I have been reincarnated so much, I should have signed the DNR.
What?
Do not reincarnate. I've been a gnu, a gnoll, a gnome, a bear and a bug. And a bug. I once was a tree and a ranger axed me into some tables and chairs. I once was an elf, but now I'm myself, singing a song about owl bears. Owl bears. Have you hugged an owl bear today? Has an owl bear hugged you? Have you felt its beak and its fur-feathered arms rip your body in two? Have you felt its beak and its fur-feathered arms rip your body in two? I was gonna ask that, Larry. What's our schedule? Because I don't want to go over.
Oh, you
Or
can
under.
That might give a drinking.
There is never a wine is ever as fine as made by a vineyard elf. RPG, diddly dee, and dee, don't tumble as you tumble to the shop. Cider's made by a whole halfling, whiskey's made by an old. RPG, diddly dee, and dee, don't tumble as you tumble to your home. There ain't no beer that brings such cheer as made by an alehouse dwarf. RPG, diddly dee, and dee, don't tumble as you tumble, you'll bark. RPG, diddly dee, and dee, we'll sing this song all night. If damn I human drinking's wrong, I don't wanna be right. 42. the land of the gnomes, and they gave me a drink in their hillside home. Gnomish whiskey, single malt. If I drank too much, it's not my fault. Halfling cider from the Shire sets your heart and soul on fire. At a halfling feast, all mirth abounds, and I done my human drinking song. 42. There's never a wine as ever as fine as made by Vineyard Elf. RPG, D&D, don't fumble as we tumble to the shop. Tigers made by a whole halfling, whiskey's made by an own. RPG, D&D, don't fumble as we tumble to your home. There ain't no beer that brings such cheer as made by an alehouse dwarf. RPG, D&D, don't fumble as we tumble to your bark. RPG, D&D, we'll sing this song all night. If them my human drinking's wrong, I don't wanna be right. 42. Once to an elven wood, and everywhere these gazebos stood. Turns out these were elven bars with elvish wine, the best by far. Beer from dwarven breweries, worth the extra calories. Now you know why dwarves are around from the demi-human drinking song. 42! Hey! Never a wine is ever as fine, made by Vineyard Elf. RPG, D&D, don't fumble as you tumble to yourself. Cider's made by a whole halfling, whiskey's made by an own. RPG, D&D, don't fumble as you tumble to your home. There ain't no beer that brings such cheer as made by an alehouse dwarf. RPG, D&D, don't fumble as you tumble your bark. RPG, D&D, we'll sing this song all night. If demi-human drinking's wrong, I don't wanna be right. If demi-human drinking's wrong, I don't wanna be right. If demi-human drinking's wrong, I don't wanna be right. 42.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Oh.
Thrones song, Game of Thrones.
There we go. Now we've got things based on a dare. So this is my first show of 2019. Dusting off the lyrics, you can help me out if I'm off a little bit. I'll probably even play the wrong chords, but that'll avoid copyright infringement. So this is your part. You're gonna sing Game of Thrones song, Game of Thrones song, Game of Thrones song, just over and over until the prattly prat starts. Section goes on. Game of Thrones song, 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 Game of Thrones song. You know, keep going, nothing. Jon Snow. You know nothing. Jon Snow. You know nothing. Jon Snow. You know nothing. Jon Snow. Not to disagree with you, regret I really know a bit of stuff I learned at Winterfell, and you can really tell I had a maester and a dad that was sad, but they both told me lots of stuff, but not enough, so here's the scoop. I'm not an incomplete. I know a lot of things like the Lion Kings and history, weaponry, geography, but not philosophy. That was really too hard for me. I know about the things you live through. I know about the things you know from living at a castle deep where snow is often falling, and it's really deep, but thanks to crop rotation, fertilization, we have food in store for years, not like you wildlings. It must be tiring to always look for food and always act so rude. If it's not cultural, it could be natural, anthropologically, I actually don't care. I'm a fighter, level 3, a ranger, level 4, 7 ranks in handle animal, and 6 in ride, and climb, and 1 in swim, and 2 in heraldry, and knowledge history. I know about the practice of taking hostage foster children, which in retrospect was not a good idea, and I can read and write. I know about 2 distinctly different faiths, having semi-participated in both of them, and I know that you need fire to kill White Walkers, and I know not to trust men who marry their daughters, and I know that my mom's conflicted about me, and anything else, I'll just ask Sam.
Yeah.
Give me 4 you-know-nothings. You know nothing, you know nothing, you know nothing, you know nothing. Oh yeah? Winter's coming, winter's coming, winter's coming, winter's coming. Can I get a fine?
Fine.
And then 4 you-know-somethings. You know something, you know something,
you know something, you know something.
Hey, thanks. Any other requests out there?
Play Bard Camp.
Bard Camp. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Bard Camp.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This, we're gonna drop that down to C.
Let me retune my drum.
You should retune it down to C. And then for C, you have to use different fingers on the bottom.
She just wanted to use all her fingers.
All right. This one time at Bard Camp where all the bards do go. This one time at Bard Camp where the lutenist buck and the flutenist blow. Tunes while the drums go rat-a-tat-tat. Be sharp, be natural, never be flat. Charisma's your highest stat at the camp where the bards all go. And when you're at Bard Camp, we sing this very song. Just like at Bard Camp, now you're all +1. Yay! Okay, so like this one time at Bard Camp, we thought it'd be so amazing to spend the whole weekend only playing in the Dorian mode, which is like the minor key with a raised 6, and our professor didn't like it because it messed up all the music theory they were trying to teach us. And my one friend, his name was Presto Allegro, and he was really hyperactive, so he only played in the Hyper Dorian mode. And he wouldn't calm down, so they brought in some druids, and they mixed up some herbs and methamphetamines, and now he only plays in the Ritalin mode. This one time at Bard Camp, where all the bars do go. This one time at Bard Camp, where the lutenist fuck and the flutenist blow. Tunes while the drums go rat-a-tat-tat. Be sharp, be natural, never be flat. Charisma's your highest stat at the camp where the bars all go. And when you're at Bard Camp, we sing this very song. Just like at Bard Camp, now you're all +1. Okay, so this one time at Bard Camp, we had these Elven exchange students come and visit us, and elves are super friendly and they know a lot about music and stuff, but they have much different bathing procedures than humans. Elves don't take baths or showers, but they take off all their clothes and they scrub like raw fruit off their bodies. So we didn't have any fruit bathing facilities, so we took them to the cafeteria, and you know the elves, they're not like humans, they have absolutely no body shame. They just took off all their clothes right there and started rubbing themselves in tangerines and nectarines and papaya and passion fruit and goji berries. And anyway, that day the apiary broke and a bunch of bees got loose, and they buzzed into the cafeteria, and the elves started freaking out. This one elf, a bee landed right on his forehead. He wouldn't calm down, so we pinned him to the floor, we took his lid, we smashed him in the face, and that's how we got B flat. This one time at Bard Camp, where all the bars do go. This one time at Bard Camp, where the lutenist buck and the flutenist blow. Tunes while the drums go rat-a-tat-tat. Be sharp, be natural, never be flat. Cause your highest stat at the camp where the bards all go. When you're at Bard Camp, we sing this very song. Just like at Bard Camp, now we're all +1. So this one time at Bard Camp, TJ and Amanda and I went to a Bard Camp orchestra concert, and it was really, really good because they were playing Morton Kanan's 9th Symphony. But we noticed in the middle of the orchestra concert, some of the dwarven bass players were getting wasted. Well, one by one, the dwarves began to pass out. As the 9th Symphony rolled along, one of the dwarven bass players passed out, and then another dwarf passed out. And Amanda's like, I'm bored, can we go? I'm like, are you kidding? It's the bottom of the 9th, there's 2 dwarves out, and the basses are loaded! This one time at Bard Camp, where all the bars do go. This one time, sports ball. Tune while the drums go rat-a-tat-tat. Be sharp, be natural, never be flat. Charisma's your highest stat at the camp where the bards all go. When you're at Bard Camp, we sing this very song. Just like at Bard Camp, now we're all +1. Well, it turns out there was a conductor of that orchestra, and he was the most famous conductor in all the land. He had never made a mistake in 35 years, but after that concert, he said, ladies and gentlemen, you probably don't realize this, but I made a mistake. I quit. I'm retiring. I'm done. I'm not the director you thought I was. Well, immediately the lawyers at Bard Camp got on him and said, you still are contracted for more concerts. So he gets up and he does another concert, and he says, ladies and gentlemen, you may not realize this, but I'm not the director you thought I was. I'm telling you right now that this is my final concert. And at the end of the concert, he pulled out a drow hand crossbow, and he killed the elven oboe player in the front row. Now, there's an archaic rule at Bard Camp that if you kill the elven oboe player in the front row, you have to go to the magical lightning chair. So they took it to the magical lightning chair, they flicked the magic crystal, electricity surged, but nothing happens. And there's an archaic rule that if you survive the lightning chair, you get to go free. Well, immediately, the lawyers at Bard Camp got on him and said, you have to do another concert. So he gets up and does another concert. He says, ladies and gentlemen, I assure you I'm not the director you thought I was. This is my final concert. And at the end of the concert, he pulls out a wand of fireballs, and he fireballs the dwarven gamelan section. Well, there's an archaic rule at Bard Camp that if you fireball the Dwarven Gamelan section, you have to go to the magical lightning chair. So they take it to the magical lightning chair, they flick the crystal, electricity surges, but again, nothing happens. And there's an archaic rule that if you survive the lightning chair, you have to go free. So anyway, the barristers of Bard Camp got on him and said, you have to do another concert. So he gets him, does another concert. He said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not the director you thought I was. I assure you, this is my final concert. And at the end of the concert, he pulled out a staff of the Magi and he meteor swarmed to the mezzanine. Well, there's an archaic rule at Bard Camp that if you meteor swarm the mezzanine, you have to go to the magical lightning chair. So they take it to the magical lightning chair, they flick the magic crystal, again, nothing happens. And the guy running the chair is like, I don't understand what's going on. And he says, I told you, I'm a bad conductor. This one time at Bard Camp, where all the bars do go. This one time at Bard Camp, where the luteness pluck and the fluteness blow. Tunes where the jumps go, rat-a-tat-tat, be sharp, be natural, never be flat. Charisma's your highest dad at the camp where the bards all go. And when you're at Bard Camp, we sing this very song. Just like at Bard Camp, now you're on +1. Well, a lot of bards died that day, and as most of us went up to the non-denominational Dungeons & Dragons Heaven, we were accompanied by some paladins and some clerics. And as we got to the pearly gates of D&D non-denominational Heaven, there was a non-denominational planetar angel thing, and he's like, why do you deserve to get into D&D non-denominational lawful good heaven? Well, the paladin said, we spent all of our lives smiting evil and curing disease and riding our horses and rescuing maidens. All right, you can go in. And then the clerics got up and they said, well, we healed our party, we cured light wounds, we cured moderate wounds, we cured serious wounds, we cured critical wounds. All right, well, you can go on in. And the bards got up, and the non-denominational planetary angel-like thing says, why do you deserve to get into non-denominational D&D heaven? And we said, well, we've been spending our whole lives entertaining and playing music and making people happy. He says, great, you can load in through the kitchen. This one time at Bard Camp, where all the bars do go. This one time at Bard Camp, where the luteness pluck and the fluteness blow. Tunes where the drums go, rat-a-tat-tat, be sharp, be natural, never be flat. Charisma's your highest dad at the camp where the bards all go. When you're at Bard Camp, we sing this very song. Just like at Bard Camp, now you're all +1. This one time at Bard Camp, an orc came to visit us.
I hate orcs.
So we killed him.
Oh.
This one time at Bard Camp, where all the bards do go. This one time at Bard Camp, where the luteness pluck and the fluteness blow. Tunes where the drums go, rat-a-tat-tat, be sharp, be natural, never be flat. Charisma's your highest dad at the camp where the bards all go. When you're at Bard Camp, we sing this very song. And just like at Bard Camp, now we're all +1. Well, one day at Bard Camp, we went into this Bard Camp pub and we decided to have some frothy beers. When in walked a C, an E flat, and a G. And the bartender says, hey, we don't serve minors. So the E flat left and the C and G had a fit between them, but after a few drinks, the fifth had become diminished and the G was out flat. And F tried to come in and augment the situation, but wasn't sharp enough. Then a D walked into the bar and said, I'll be going to the bathroom, I'll just be a second. Then the bartender noticed that there was an A in the bar. He became suspicious that this relative of C could be a minor, but before he could do anything, he noticed there was a B flat at the end of the bar, and he says, hey, get out of here, B flat, you're the 7th minor I found here tonight. Well, that C, not to be outdone, or the E flat, not to be outdone, went and got a 3-piece suit and some shiny shoes and came back in, and the bartender says, wow, you're looking sharp tonight. This could be a major development. Anyway, that turned out to be the case as the E flat took off all his clothes and stood there au natural. Anyway, the C, upon sobering up, realized to his dismay that he was under arrest and was sentenced to 10 years of DS without coda for contributing to the diminution of a minor. Well, after appeal, however, the C was found innocent of all wrongdoing, however accidental, and all accusations to the contrary are baseless. This one time at Bard Camp, where all the bars do go. This one time at Bard Camp, where the luteness pluck and the fluteness blow. Tunes where the drums go, rat-a-tat-tat, be sharp, be natural, never be flat. Charisma's your highest dad at the camp where the bards all go. When you're at Bard Camp, we sing this very song. Just like at Bard Camp, now you're all +1. And if you're at Bard Camp and tip is $1 or $2, then just like at Bard Camp, now you're +2. And if you're at Bard Camp and buy a CD, then just like at Bard Camp, then you'll be +3. And if you're at Bard Camp and tip us some more, then just like at Bard Camp, then you'll be +4. And if you're at Bard Camp, check us out on Spotify, then just like at Bard Camp, then you'll be +5. Thanks everybody, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back when we're back. It's awesome being here at Winter RenFair. Woo!